श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। सद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। ब्रह्मसूत्रास् चैप्टर 2 पाद 3 वियदधिकरणं न वियदश्रुतेः अस्तितु गौण्यसंभवात् शब्दाच्च साच्चैकस्य ब्रह्मशब्दवत् प्रतिज्ञा अहानिः अव्यतिरेकात् शब्देभ्यः यावत् विकारं तु विकारो लोकवत्। मातरिष्वाधिकरणम् एतेन मातरिष्वाव्याख्यातः। असंभवाधिकरणम् असंभवस्तु सतः अनुपपत्तेः। तेजोधिकरणम् तेजोतः तथा ह्यः। अभधिकरणम् आपः। पृथिव्यधिकरणम् पृथिवी अधिकार रूप शब्दान्तरेभ्यः। तद् अभिध्यानाधिकरणम् तद् अभिध्यानादेवतुं तल्लिंगात् सह। विपर्ययाधिकरणम् विपर्ययेण तु क्रमः अतः उपपद्यते च। अंतराभिज्ञानाधिकरणम् अंतराभिज्ञानमनसि क्रमेण तल्लिंगादिति चेत् न विशेषात्। चराचर व्यपाश्रय अधिकरणम् चराचर व्यपाश्रयस्तु स्यात् तदव्यपदेशः भाक्तः तद्भावभावित्वात्। आत्माधिकरणम् नात्मश्रुतेः नित्यत्वात् च ताभ्यः। ज्ञाधिकरणम् ज्ञोत एव। उत्क्रान्तिगद्यधिकरणम् उत्क्रान्तिगद्यागादीनां स्वात्मना चोत्तरयोः न अणुः अतः श्रुतेः इति चेत् न इतर अधिकारात्। स्वशब्दोन्मानाभ्याञ्च अविरोधश्चन्दनवत्। अवस्थिति वैशेष्यादिति चेत् न अद्युपगमाद् कृतिः। गुणाद्वा लोकवत् व्यतिरेको गन्धवत् तथा च दर्शयति पृथक् उपदेशात्। तद्गुण सारत्वात्तु तद्व्यपदेशः प्राज्ञवत्। यावत् आत्मा भावित्वाच्च न दोषः तद्दर्शनात्। पुंस्त्वाधिवत् स्वस्य सतः अभिव्यक्तिः योगात्। नित्य उपलब्धि अनुपलब्धि प्रसंगः अन्यंतर नियमो वा अन्यथा। कर्ताधिकरणम् कर्ता शास्त्रार्थवत्वात् विहारोपदेशात् उपादानात् व्यपदेशाच्च क्रियायां न चेत् निर्देश विपर्ययः। उपलब्धिवत् अनियमः शक्ति विपर्ययात्। समाध्यभावाच्च तक्षाधिकरणम् यथा च तक्षोभयथा। We saw the 15th adhikaranam, takshadhikaranam, in the last class. Now we will go to the next adhikaranam called parayathadhikarana. Paratu tat shrutehe. That is the 41st sutra, 3rd section, 2nd chapter, 257th running Brahma Sutra. Paratu tat shrutehe. Let us first introduce this adhikaranam. It has 2 sutras, and the topic analyzed here is the nature of Jivatma. It's a further analysis. It's not a new analysis. Further analysis on the nature of Jivatma. And we have said that Jivatma is Ajaha, is unborn, Vibhuhu, and Vyavaharika Karta. Only in the Vyavaharika plane it is Karta. And Paramarthika Akarta. Jivatma is Chaitanya Swarupam in the sense of Paramarthika Chaitanyam. So we have also talked about various features of Jivatma also. And now the question is, does the Karta Jivatma depend upon Ishvara to function as a Karta or not? Does the Karta Jivatma, that means the Vyavaharika plane, depend upon Ishvara to function as a Karta? Is Jivatma is Ishvara Apekshaha, Ishvara Adhinaha, Ishvara Ayataha dependent? So is the Karta dependent on Ishvara or not? In other words, is Ishvara the cause of Jivatma Kartrutvam? She can put it that way also. Is Ishvara the cause for Jivatma's Kartrutvam, the doership? And if we discuss this from Paramarthika angle, the question will not arise at all. Because Jivatma does not have Kartrutvam at all in the Paramarthika sense. Because Aikya. Where is the question of finding out if Ishvara is the cause for Kartrutvam at all in the Paramarthika sense? So the question does not arise from Paramarthika Drishti at all. From Vyavaharika Drishti, the question is accepted. So for Vyavaharika Kartrutvam, Ishvara is the cause. And we have handled the Sankhya philosopher, the Yoga philosopher to establish the doership, Kartrutvam. We have handled the Nyaya, Vaiseshika philosophers also by establishing the Agantuka Kartrutvam. If you remember all those terms, Agantuka Kartrutvam. And now we have to handle the Purva Mimamsa philosophers. I introduced this in the last class, the Purva Mimamsa philosophers. Only then Vedanta will stand separate from the other 5 Astika Darshanas. All the 5 are Astika Darshanas. We are not talking about Nastika Darshanas here. All the 5 are Astika Darshanas. So Vedanta stands out from all these 5 only when we answer this question. So the Purva Mimamsaka philosopher is a peculiar philosopher. And his philosophy is based on Veda, correct? And he gives very high status to Veda also. The scriptures, he gives very high status to them. He can be compared to, for example, if you want to compare the people who follow Sikhism, the Sikh people, who look upon the Guru Granth Sahib as God and everything. For them, the Guru, in the Gurudwara temples, they don't keep any God. And the Grantha, the book, that itself becomes the God. The book itself is worshipped. They will do puja, and the book alone, they every morning they carry it on their head, and in the evening they take back the book also on the head. For them, there is no other God other than the book. So, Grantha Sahib. So, the Purva Mimamsa is very close and does not accept Ishvara also. He accepts Veda Pramanam though. He accepts all rituals. He accepts Swarga, everything he accepts, except God. Ishvara he doesn't accept. After all, he says, you want moksha. So moksha requires what? Karma. And Veda gives karma. And so we don't need to have any Ishvara at all because karmas will produce the phala, according to them. So there are laws, or the various rules are there. Veda is there. Jivatma is there. There's a karta there. Desires are anywhere there. So we keep Veda and the ritual and attain permanent Swargaloka, according to them. So Swargalokaha Amritatvam Bhajante. In Swargaloka, one is free from Ashanaya and Pipasa, all that thing we have already seen. Asanaya, Pipasa, hunger and thirst. They are all free from all that. No sorrow, no delusion. It is eternal also, Swargaloka, according to them. So based on the Karma Kanda, the Purva Mimamsaka, they claim Jivatma can attain moksha through karma itself. And Ishvara is a totally redundant and irrelevant concept according to them. And what about all the Devatas then mentioned in the Vedas like Indra, Saraswati, Brahmaji, Ganesha, all that? He says all of them are only Shabda Swarupaha. Actually, we saw this in Devata Adhikaranam, the 8th Adhikaranam of the first chapter, 3rd Pada. It's a very big Adhikarana with 8 sutras, 26 to 33, Devata Adhikaranam. And in that Adhikaranam, there is no Devata existent as a person. And they are only verbal and they are only wordy existence, not worldly, wordy existence, only by words. Vacharambana, Svikaro Namadeya. So Nama Matra Satta only they are all. Unlike a computer, when I use the word computer, there is a padam, a word called computer, and there is a padartha, also a computer. And the Purva Mimamsaka, he argues, in the case of Devatas, there is Indra who is satisfied. There are only padams, words, and there is no padartha. Indra word only is there. Do not imagine there is an Indra who is satisfied with all the rituals. When you say Indra, Yaswaha, Indra is not satisfied. He is coming and giving you all these things. Indra is producing result and all. Don't believe in any of those. There is no such person or deity called Indra or Yama or any of those things. Varuna, all those people. So what produces the result is the Shabda Ucharana and Karma Anushtana. By reciting the Veda mantras, and following the karma anushtana, that itself produces the result according to that. So there is no question of any devata's intervention at all in giving you the phala. And in the same way, Ishvara also is not there according to that. And therefore, Jivatma Kartrutvam doesn't require blessings of Ishvara at all. Vedantins, they strongly refute the Purvamimamsaka's view, and they establish that you have to accept an Ishvara other than Jivatma and the Jagat. Purvamimamsaka tries to manage with Jiva, Jagat and Veda, all these three. No need for Ishvara according to that. But Vedantins say you need Jiva, Jagat, Veda, that is not enough. You need an Ishvara also, which is different from Jivatma, different from Jagat, different from the Vedas also. This is the contention of the Siddhanti. And there is a creator of Veda. Jiva has not created the Vedas at all. Jagat has not created the Vedas. And therefore, we require a creator of the Vedas. And who is other than the Jiva and Jagat to create the Veda? It is only Ishvara. Ishvara alone should be the creator of Veda. So if you ask the Purvamimamsaka, who is the creator of Veda? He will say Veda is Anadi. He says Veda is Anadi. So Jada, Jagat cannot create Veda. Inert Jagat is Jada. And ignorant Jiva cannot create Veda. Why should we bother about the creator of Veda at all, which is Anadi? However, we say that other than Jivaha, Jagat and Veda, we require an Ishvara. That is the contention of Siddhanti. So the Pramanam is Shastra Yonitvat. We have already seen this sutra, the third sutra in the first chapter, first pada. Very important sutra. Shastra Yonitvat, that is the Pramanam. When I say all these things, I hope perhaps you have no confusion, because the way the discussion goes, it may give rise to confusion. We are talking about only one thing, but we are only talking about variations in the other people's views. So there should be no room for confusion for all this. For example, some students, they may raise their eyebrows also, and they may ask the question, silently, are you an Advaitin or not? They may ask the question. Because why? You are saying that there is an Ishvara different from Jiva and Jagat. You strongly advocate Jivatma Paramatma Aikyam. And you shamelessly say that there is an Ishvara different from Jivatma. Who is different from the Jagat and all that? One may ask those questions whether you have perhaps forgotten Advaita principles at all or not. It is an eternal problem. Many people may tend to get confused. Many people think, and they have written that Shankaracharya himself is confused in the writings. We are comfortable as Siddhantis, we are comfortable because we have got a basic system of Vyavaharika and Paramarthika angles of interpretation. And until you understand the principles of Vyavaharika and Paramarthika angles, Advaitam will be ununderstandable only. We are not surprised about it at all. We have talked about Kartrutvam of Jiva in the previous Adhikaranam, doership. And therefore, we are in the Vyavaharika plane only. The moment you talk about Kartrutvam, Bhoktrutvam and all, you are in the Vyavaharika plane. In the Vyavaharika plane, I am an individual. I am a Karta. I am Bhokta. I am Chidabasaha. I have got Sambandha with the Stula Shariram, Sukshma Shariram and all that in the Vyavaharika plane. I have got Punyam, Papam. I am in the midst of everything. I am in trouble. I need the grace of Lord. Therefore, we want to establish an Ishvara first. Once we have accepted an Ishvara and Jivatma, with respect to Kartrutvam of Jivatma, what is Ishvara's role is the next question. Once we accept it, what is the role of Ishvara with respect to the Kartrutvam, the doership of the Jiva? This is a very important question. Here also there are so many confusions. There are one set of people who say Ishvara alone does everything. For them, Ishvara alone is doing everything. Without Ishvara, nothing in the world can move. There is no such thing called free will at all. Free will is a myth. And we do not do anything. We cannot do anything. and there is only one doer, and that is Ishvara, and we are all puppets in his hands. This is one extreme view called the fatalistic philosophy, which totally negates the free will. And they attribute Jivatma's Kartrutvam to Ishvara. The doership of the Jivatma, they attribute it to the Ishvara. They prostrate before Ishvara for anything to be done. They do namaskaram, they do pujas, all those things, homas. And in this, Ishvara's role is highlighted and Jiva's role is completely ignored. And this is one extreme. And there is another extreme that is called the Purvamimamsaka extreme, wherein Ishvara's role is completely ignored and they say Jivatma is Karta and he is not controlled by anyone and he does everything and he also pays his own results. Therefore, you take charge of your life. You are responsible for everything. And don't put the blame on anyone, including Ishvara. There is no Ishvara also. Therefore, everything is in your hands. Everything is in God's hands is one extreme view. And everything is in your hands, individual's hands, is other extreme view. And the first one is called fatalistic philosophy, fatalism. And the second extreme is called materialism, the Nastikavada. And here, in this important Adhikaranam, we are going to reconcile. These two extremes, we have to reconcile. And what is the reconciliation? It is that where we say both of them play important roles. Both the Jiva and the Ishvara both play important roles. Do not ignore Jivatma's free will. And at the same time, do not ignore Ishvara's grace or blessings. Both are unbalanced views if you take extremes. Ishvara and Jivatma's free will both require for Kartrutvam, for doership, you need both. The free will of Jivatma and also the blessings of Ishvara. Both are equally important for Kartrutvam. Ishvara is to be a Samanya Karana for all the actions of Jiva. Ishvara is supposed to be the general cause. Samanya Karana means general cause. You should be all familiar with all these words. We have used these things many times. For Jiva's action, Ishvara is the Samanya Karanam. Jiva is supposed to be the Vishesha Karanam, the specific cause. Ishvara provides the infrastructure. In what way Ishvara is said to be a Samanya Karanam? Ishvara provides the infrastructure and Jivatma decides to use it or abuse it or disuse it, the infrastructure. Infrastructure alone is not enough for anything to take place. Both Ishvara and Jiva's free will, both are required. If a person wants to start, for example, an industry, we know the government has to provide the infrastructure. Roads are needed, phones must work, electricity should be there. All are infrastructure requirements. Everything the government must provide. And without them, nobody can start anything. No factory or anything can be started. At the same time, provisions alone are not enough. And the individual has to decide to make use of the appropriate provisions. Similarly, Ishvara gives the infrastructure. What is that? The universal laws. The cosmic laws, the cosmic order is the infrastructure that Ishvara has given us. All laws of karma is Ishvara's provisions. And it is the order, the infrastructure. Therefore, with respect to that Ishvara, Veda Vakyam is pramanam. With respect to the Ishvara, what is the pramanam? Veda Vakyam alone is pramanam. One cannot negate it as Arthavada. And therefore, one has to accept the Ishvara Tattvam. So, Veda Vakyam is the pramanam. One cannot negate it as Arthavada at all. Therefore, one has to accept the Ishvara Tattvam. This is the essence of this sutra. Now, let us do the word analysis, general analysis. Now, do the word analysis. First, let us see the running meaning. Paratu tat shrutehe. This is the 41st sutra, third pada, second chapter, 257, running Brahma Sutra. Paratu tat shrutehe. This sutra has got 4 words. Parat plus tu plus tat plus shrutehe. Tat tu, the doership of the jiva. Indeed, tu. Parat means dependent upon. Parat, dependent upon Ishvara or Paramatma. We have to supply that. Dependent upon Ishvara or Paramatma. Shrutehe. Shrutehe means as revealed by the Shruti statements or Vedic statements. This is the running meaning. Now let us see the significance of each of the words. Parat means dependent upon Ishvara. Paraha refers to Ishvara or Paramatma. Here it is in Panchami Vibhakti. It's in the meaning of dependence. So Parayatam ityartha. So Ayata means dependence. That is why this Adhikaranam is called Parayatha Adhikarana. Parat means Parayatam, dependent on Ishvara. Then Tu. Tu means is emphasis. To emphasize the Purva Mimamsaka's view. So Paramata Nirashartaha. That is the reason for this, the emphasis. To condemn the Purva Mimamsaka's views. Ekadeshi Matam Nirasartaha Tu. So here Ekadeshi is Purva Mimamsaka. To negate the Purva Mimamsaka Mata. That Ishvara is not required. That's what he contends, and we are trying to negate that view. Then Tat. Tat means in this context, that is Jivasya Kartrutva. That is the context. It is from Vyavaharika Drishti. Jiva's doership is dependent upon Ishvara from the Vyavaharika angle. Then what is the pramanam for that? Shrutehe. Shrutehe, the next word, Shrutehe. Wherever Ishvara comes, Veda pramanam should come. Very important. Whenever we talk about Ishvara, Veda pramanam has to be invoked. Because Ishvara is beyond all our instruments of knowledge. It is suprasensuous. It is not within the fold of logic also. So, Nirguna Ishvara, that is Brahman, as well as Saguna Ishvara, both of them are beyond science and logic. Both are Apaurusheya Vishayaha. Therefore, to establish both the Saguna and Nirguna Ishvara, we have to depend on Shruti, Vedas. And that is why we say Shrutehe in the Sutra. Shruti Vakyat from Vedic statement. Maximum science and logic can do is what? To give support to Shruti Vakyams only. That much only they can do. Science can only give supporting logic, but can never give proving logic of Ishvara. See how we have to analyze them. Science can give, logic can give supporting logic, but never give proving logic. That is why we cannot ask for scientific evidence for God, Ishvara. When we ask for evidence, we are asking for proving logic, right? When you ask for evidence, we are asking for proving logic. We don't have proving logic. Evidence is Veda only. And that is called Sambhavana Yuktihi, supporting logic. Science can never give Nischayaka Yuktihi, that is proving logic, science can never give. This we must always remember. Science can give supporting logic, cannot give proving logic in such matters. That is why Vyasacharya used the expression Shrutehe in the Sutra. Because it is Apaurusheya Shruti. Apaurusheya Shruti Pramanat. Shrutehe. And therefore, Vyasacharya must have some Vedic statements in mind. When he says this, he should have some Vedic statements in mind to prove that. And what are those Vedic statements he takes? One, he perhaps has Kaushitaki Upanishad, that is the 3rd chapter, 8th mantra. This Upanishad we have seen earlier also in other senses. Yeshahi eva sadhum karma karayati, yeshahi eva asadu karma karayati. This is the mantra from Kaushitaki Upanishad, 3rd chapter, 8th mantra. Yeshahi eva sadhu karma karayati, yeshahi eva asadu karma karayati. Actually, in Tamil, in every language also, they say, he is the one who makes you dance, and we dance. We dance to his tune. So, avan aatugiran, naam aadugirom. In Tamil, they say. So, and the next Shruti statement is from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. This also we have seen, Antaryami Brahmanam, we have seen this elaborately at that time, 3rd chapter, 7th Brahmanam, which clearly says that Jiva does everything blessed by Ishvara alone, Antaryami. And why we don't see that Ishvara? Because he is Antaryami. Antaryami Brahmanam talks about Antaryami Ishvara. For example, if you take a flashlight, torchlight example, a flashlight has got the battery inside as what? As Antaryami. The light itself, the flashlight itself cannot read the writings on the battery. Can you use the flashlight to read the writings on the battery, which is Antaryami inside the battery? Ishvara is the battery behind the Jivatma's every karana, every instrument. And therefore, Shruti alone reveals, Vedas alone, they reveal. Thus, these are the 2 Vakyas, 2 Pramanams that are kept in mind by Vyasacharya. And Shrutehe is Panchami, Heto Panchami. So, of course, there's some detail. Now, let us go to the next sutra. 42nd sutra of the same Adhikarana, Parayathadhikaranam. Kruta Prayatnapekshastu Vihita Pratishidda Avayartibdi Vayartam. I have written it wrong. Vayartam. Avayartadibhyaham Kruta Prayatnapekshastum Vihita Pratishidda Avayartadibhyaha. 42nd Sutra, 258th running Brahma Sutra. First, let us do the general analysis of this sutra. This is a complementary sutra to the previous sutra. Because in the previous sutra, what did we say? We very clearly said, Jivatma's kartrutvam is not an independent kartrutvam, it is dependent on Ishvara. So, Ishvara sapeksha kartrutvam, and we have also quoted the Kaushitaki Upanishad to say that Ishvara makes the Jivatma do good and bad actions. And this can create many questions also. If you say Ishvara makes the Jiva to do karma, then Jiva will become what? Nimitta matra. He will be only an instrument because Ishvara is the agent to make you do anything. So Jiva is only an instrument. Then it means what? Free will comes in trouble. Not only that, Ishvara becomes the doer of all the karmas. We are only instruments. If Ishvara makes some people do good karmas and some people do bad karmas, then Ishvara will become what? He will become partial Ishvara. Therefore, Ishvara's status will be in trouble. You call him Ishvara, but he is a partial person. This is the consequence of knocking off free will. If you knock off free will, all these problems will come. It's a very serious consequence that Ishvara will become a Pakshapati. This Vyasacharya knows very well. Therefore, he complements the previous sutra with this sutra. Ishvara alone is not responsible for Jivatma's kartrutvam. Ishvara is only a general cause, samanya karanam, as we said earlier. Ishvara provides the infrastructure. He blesses the instruments, all your instruments, provides the laws, the rules, and these are all Ishvara's functions. Like, for example, if you take, Swamiji gives the example of a cricket board in India. India cricket is popular. Like the cricket board, they set the ground rules of the match, provide facilities, so many things. And so the cricket board is the samanya karanam for the match. But the victory and defeat are decided, not supposed to be decided. So all these days we have got all those fixing and all. So this is not supposed to be decided. So it is not decided by the board. The teams have to work for their victory. Therefore, with respect to without the board, there is no game. And without the teams also, there is no game. So the playing of the team is Vishesha Karanam, and providing the infrastructure by the board is the Samanya Karanam. And Shankara gives the example of the rains. Of course, there was no cricket during Shankara's time. So he gives the examples of the rains. The rainy waters are the Samanya Karanam for the seed to sprout. This is Shankaracharya's example. The rainy waters are example for the seed to sprout. So without the water, the seed can never sprout. but waters are not responsible for the type of sprouting, the type of fruits. That depends upon the seed. And the seed is represented by the Vishesha Karana, free will of the Jiva. Therefore, Vyasacharya says, Jiva depends upon Ishvara for Kartrutvam, and Ishvara also depends upon Jiva for the karmas to take place. Because next Srishti is because of what? Because of the karmas done by Ishvara in the Purva Janma. So Ishvara alone can never make the karma to happen, because Jiva's free will is required. And that is why they say, even if 10 people take a horse to the water, the horse only has to drink the water. Similarly, Bhagavan can provide everything. He can provide entire infrastructure. But if my free will is not there, no deliberate action will come. And that deliberating part is called Purushartha, or free will. And this free will produce vasanas also. Therefore, in the Purva Janma, I had the free will, and I had developed the vasanas also. And in this Janma, what do? I have free will also, and I am born with the Purva Janma vasanas. Tam vidya karmani samanvara bhete purva prajnacha. Every action of mine is governed by will, free will, and vasanas. Free will is there intrinsically. Vasana I have carried from previous Janma, and they both determine every action I do. Therefore, free will plus Vasana is Jivatma's role. Infrastructure is Paramatma, Ishvara's role. And Vyasacharya says, if you do not accept Jivatma's free will, there will be then two problems also. The first problem is what? We already said, Ishvara will become Pakshapati, partial. Vaishamyam Nairgrinya Doshaha. Because some people will be violent, some people they are like saints. Such kind of creation might come. And the second problem is what? If Ishvara alone is responsible for Kartrutvam, and I am only an instrument, I don't have free will at all, suppose, then the entire Vidhi Nisheda Shastra will become irrelevant for me. There is nothing like do's and don'ts. I do whatever I want to do, because rules are to be taught to the ones who handle the instruments. If I don't have an instrument, where is the rule to be taught to me? Handle an instrument. And you teach the rules to the person who handles the instrument and not to the instrument itself. And if you are only instruments in the hands of the Lord, then all the punya papam should go to whom? Should go to the Lord only, because I am only an instrument. And who has to be punished? Bhagavan has to be punished. Therefore, who will also get liberation also? Only Lord will get liberation. So for us, there is neither Vidhi Shastra, nor Nisheda Shastra, nor Moksha Shastra also. Therefore, all funny, illogical situations will arise, and therefore, Vidhi Nisheda Shastra are Avayatya Siddhartham. That is where I come from. I try to draw it to that particular term in the sutra. Avayatya Siddhartham. Therefore, for establishing the validity of the Vidhi Nisheda Shastra and for establishing the impartiality of Ishvara, we have to accept the free will. And therefore, every karma is the result of two factors. One is Ishvara's grace and Jiva's free will. So, Anugraham plus Prayatna is equal to karma. Anugraham and Prayatna. Without Anugraham, Prayatna cannot work. Without Prayatna, Anugraham has no meaning, cannot work also. Yata kekena chakrena na ratasya ghadir bhavet evam purushakarena vina daivam na siddhyati. Just as a cart will not move without the two wheels, and the bird cannot fly without the two wings. Evam purushakarena vina, without accepting free will of the individual, Daivam, the Ishvara Anugraha cannot even come to existence. Daivam na siddhyati. Thus, the first sutra establishes Ishvara Anugraha, and the second sutra establishes free will. So, this Adhikaranam is a very, very important Adhikaranam. where free will and Ishvara Anugraham both are emphasized, which gives equal importance to grace and our effort. And if this Adhikaranam is not properly understood, we will go to one extreme or the other, either fatalistic philosophy or the other. One extreme means what? Everything Ishvara decides. Nothing is in my hands. I am a helpless individual. And the another extreme is everything is in my hands. I don't require an Ishvara. One is called fatalism. Another one, as I said, is called individualism or arrogance. Manitva. Manitvam is a nice word. Krishna himself, manitvam, adambitvam, ahimsa, kshantihi, arjavam, that manitvam. And what does Vedanta say? Accept both. This is the general analysis of this. Now let us go to the word analysis of this sutra. Let us first see the running meaning. Krita prayatnapekshastu vihita pratisiddha avayarthadibhyaha. That is a sutra. So first is Krita prayatnapekshastu. Prayatnapekshaha tu. Tu means however. Krita prayatnapekshaha means Ishvara is dependent. Not only Jiva on the effort performed. Ishvara is dependent. Vihita pratisiddha vayarthadibhyaha. It's a large compound word. As indicated by the means as indicated by the validity of the injunctions and prohibitions. Vidhi nisheda. Injunctions are vidhi, the do's, nisheda, and prohibitions, and other reasons, adibhyaha. So this is the running meaning. That is what the running meaning is. However, tu is however, Ishvara is dependent upon the karma performed by the jiva as indicated by the validity of the vidhi, nisheda, and other reasons. That is the general meaning of this large sutra. Now let us see the significance of the words. Krita prayatnapekshaha. Dependent on jiva's karma. Krita means performed. Whatever is performed. Prayatna means karma. So krita prayatna means karma performed by the jiva we have to supply. So jivena kritaha prayatnaha krita prayatnaha. And apekshaha means dependent. Bahuvrihi actually. Krita prayatnasya apeksha is saha. Krita prayatna apeksha Ishvaraha. And what does it mean? Ishvara is dependent on the karma of jivas for his action. Ishvara's action. The creative action. He needs the karma palam. And the next word is tu. Tu is to negate the Purvapakshi. Who is the Purvapakshi here? Whomsoever negates the free will is a Purvapakshi here. Whomsoever negates free will. And the Purvapakshi nirasartaha, negation of fatalism. So fatalistic people are very difficult to convince, to be honest. It is very difficult to convince the fatalistic people. They will say everything is based on destiny. Do not accept free will and all that. Everything is by Ishvara only. He controls everything. If one does not accept free will, then what is the difference between me and an animal, which does not have a free will at all? Therefore, by accepting free will, I will be superior to an animal. Buddhirhi tesham adhiko visheshaha. Buddha vihinaha pashubhih samanaha. Therefore, I am, without buddhi, I am pashubhih samanaha. I am like an animal only. I am happy with Ishvara's making me accept my free will. This is very important. Free will is very important. Therefore, tu is negation of fatalism, fatalistic concept. And the next big word is vihita pratisiddham avayarthadibhyaha. Avayarthadibhyaha, avayarthadibhyaha. Here Vyasacharya gives the reason why one should accept free will. What is the reason for that? He gives. To validate vidhi nisheda shastra. We have to accept free will for that reason, to validate the vidhi nisheda shastra. All the Vedic injunctions, the laws, the codes, the prisons, all of them can be validated only if you accept a free will. If one does not accept free will, nobody is responsible for one's crimes at all. Then all these criminal courts, criminal lawyers, actually the criminal lawyer is a strange usage these days, where the samasa plays a very important role in understanding it. It is not karmadharaya samasa. If you say a criminal lawyer, then it may imply that the lawyer is a criminal. But you should use it as Tatpurusha Samasa, one who works in the field of criminal law. Anyway, it's a side thing. Yeah, then the criminals then will argue what? Nothing is in my hand. I have no free will at all. Everything depends on Ishvara. So what do? Go either please go and ask him or go punish him. Therefore, Vihitam, Pradishiddham, Avayartham. So Vihita means Vidhi. Vidhi means the do's, all the do's, the injunctions. And Pradishiddha means the don'ts, the prohibitions. Avayartham means validation or validity. Actually, it is double negative here. Vayartham means invalidity, and avayartham means non-invalidity. That means validity. So Vihitam, Pratishiddham, Avayartham, for the sake of the validity of Vidhi Nisheda Shastram, one should accept what? Free will. Okay. Then Adi. Adi Padam means here, etc. and other reasons. So what are those other reasons? Number one, for the acceptance of free will one should accept, because free will is something that we experience. Correct? We all experience free will. In fact, it is ridiculous to argue about free will at all, because that I am free or not, who is to prove? If I am free or not, who is to prove? It is a self-evident fact. Therefore, the primary pramanam for free will is what? I am the pramanam. And what is the direct experience I have? That I have a choice in my life. The availability of choice is a pratyaksha pramanam for free will. And what is the proof for my choice? The proof for choice is what? Is conflict. Whether I should do this or that conflict. Only when there is a choice, there will be a conflict. Therefore, negation of free will is against all our direct experiences in life. So this will be the first problem if you negate it. And the other one is Vishamyam Nairgrinya Doshaha. Vishamyam Nairgrinya Doshaha. This we have seen earlier also in some other context, which we have talked about earlier in the Brahma Sutras, when we talked about in the second chapter, first pada, 34th Sutra, where we said Vaishamya Nairgrinya Nasapekshatvat Tatahi Darshayati. That is the sutra there. Second chapter, first pada, 34th Sutra. Vaishamya Nairgrinya. If free will is not there, Lord becomes Karta. And Lord becomes partial, Vaishamya. Because some people are rich, some people are richer, some people are richest. So partiality, Lord gives partiality. Then what is cruelty? Nairgrinyam. Some people are poor. God makes some people poor also. So rich, richer, richest is the partiality. Poor is the example of cruelty. Therefore, the Lord will become responsible for partiality and cruelty. This is the second major problem. And there are other problems also, which we have discussed in Bhagavad Gita, actually, Nimitta Matram Bhavasavya Sachinna. When we discuss that sloka in the chapter 11, we discussed this elaborately. So if you want to see more information, you can go see there. I'm not going to bring all of them here. But that is Nimitta Matram. For that particular terminology, we went through a lot of discussion. So anyway, with this, the 16th Adhikaranam and the 42nd Sutra is also over. Now let us go to the next Adhikaranam, Sutra 43. Amshadhikaranam. This is the 17th topic. Amsho Nana Vyapadeshat Anyata Chapim Dashakitavaditvam Adiyata Eke. It's a long sutra. Amsho Nana Vyapadeshat Anyata Chapim Dashakitavaditvam Adiyata Eke. So this says the individual Jivatma is different from and also same as Brahman. So this is the 17th Adhikaranam known as Amsha Adhikaranam, which is the final Adhikaranam of this third pada of the second chapter. It has 11 sutras. It's a big Adhikaranam. Here Vyasacharya points out that Jivatma is an Amsha of Paramatma. We have seen this discussion earlier also. And we can perfectly agree with that point of view, because here the context is what? If we want to talk about Jivatma as Amsha of Paramatma, what we are talking about? We are in the context of Vyavaharika Drishti. which is clear from the flow of the topics also, namely in the 14th, 15th, and 16th Adhikaranams, which talk about Jivatma as Karta, and Jiva requires the blessings of the Lord to do karmas. Therefore, Jivatma has to be necessarily a Sopadika Purusha only. Otherwise, there is no question of Kartrutvam, doership. And once the topic of Kartrutvam comes, we should know that we are in Vyavaharika Drishti. Keeping that Vyavaharika level, if one asks the relationship between Jivatma and Paramatma, we should answer Jivatma is only a part of Paramatma, Amsha. We should never use the word Aikyam here in the Vyavaharika angle. Talking of Aikyam from Vyavaharika Drishti is a gross mistake, because from Vyavaharika Drishti, Jivatma has Vyashti Upadhi. We already have talked in detail about Vyashti Upadhi and Samashti Upadhi, right from Tatbodha days. And from Vyavaharika Drishti, Ishvara is Samashti Upadhi. Ishvara has Samashti Upadhi, Jiva has Vyashti Upadhi. The micro Upadhi, the Vyashti Upadhi, has to be necessarily a part of the macro Upadhi, Samashti Upadhi. So we have already told Vishwa and Virat. Vishwa has to be necessarily part of Virat. Virat is Samashti, Vishwa is individuals, the Stula Shariram. Taijasa and Hiranyagarbha. Taijasa is the Vyashti Sukshma Shariram, and Hiranyagarbha is Samashti Sukshma Shariram. Prajna and Ishvara. Prajna is the Vyashti Karna Shariram. Ishvara is the Samashti Karna Shariram. Or here it is Antaryami. Therefore, the Turiya of Mandukya Upanishad that we talked about in Mandukya is not a part of Brahman, because it is Paramarthik. The Turiyam concept itself is from the Paramarthik Drishti, so we cannot call it as part of Brahman. It's Brahman. So, Vyavaharika Drishtya, Jivatma is an Amsha of Paramatma. That is why in Vyavaharika Drishti, the Amshatvam is indicated by what? By surrender. I surrender to the Lord. Surrender is indicated by Namaskaram, in which I declare that I am a part of you, or I belong to you. Shankaracharya, actually, he wrote a grantha called Vishnu Shatpati, a nice grantha. That he says, Satyapi Bheda Pagame Natham Tavaham Nam Mamakinastvam Samudrohi Tarangaha Kvachana Samudrona Tarangaha. Oh Lord, oh Protector, even with the difference between you and me, passing off, I become yours, but you do not become mine. In Vyavaharika Drishti. Indeed, even though there is difference between the waves and the ocean, the wave belongs to the ocean only, but nowhere, never does the ocean will ever become the wave. So this is a very different kind of approach here from the Advaitic angle. Let me not be arrogant with you. That is the concept that Shankaracharya wants to bring here. Let me not be arrogant with you. Let me not claim that I am big. Let me be a humble and simple servant of you. The waves belong to the ocean, and we can never say ocean can belong to the wave any time. Smaller one belongs to the bigger one. Oh Lord, I am a Taranga and you are a Samudra. Let me remember this, I am part of you. That's what he says. So the very same Sankaracharya, who very vehemently establishes Jivatma Paramatma Aikyam, could very comfortably write this Vishnu Shatpati Stotram also. That is unique of Advaitins. Because of the channel difference. We call it channel difference. One is the Paramarthika channel, another is the Vyavaharika channel. So this sloka belongs to what channel? Vyavaharika channel. This Amsha topic is introduced for the sake of seemingly contradictory Shruti statements, or the Veda Shruti and Abeda Shruti. We talked about Veda Shruti and Abeda Shruti. Veda Shruti means what? That statement wherein Jiva is said to be different from God is Veda Shruti, Vedam, difference. Abeda Shruti means that statement where Jiva is said to be identical with God. And we reconcile this by saying that in the Vyavaharika plane, we do it as Amsha, Amshi Sambandham, part-whole relationship, whereas Veda also can be accommodated where, and Abeda also can be accommodated in that angle. Because part is neither totally identical with the whole, nor very different from the whole also. It is different because it is small. It is identical because it is not away from the whole. Thus, the Amsha is brought in to resolve the seeming contradiction between Veda, Abeda, Shruti. Veda mantras which talk about Vedas, and some places talks about Abeda. To reconcile that, we bring this. Now let us see this Adhikaranam in our format. What is our format? Purvapaksha, Ekadeshi, and Siddhanti. And the Purvapakshi, he says, I have some time, yeah. Says, Shruti contradicts by giving Veda and Abeda Vakyams. Veda Vakyam, we already saw in Mundaka Upanishad, where it says, Dvasuparnam, Sayuja Sakayam, Samanam Briksham, Parishasvajate, Tayoranyaha, Pippalam Swadhyastum, Anashnanne, Anyaha, Abhichagashiti. Two birds, companions, two birds. Always they are united. They cling to the self, the same tree. And of these, one eats the sweet fruits, and the other one looks on without eating. That is the simile there. Jivatma and Paramatma are compared to two birds perched on a tree. And here clearly the two birds means Veda is talked about. There are a number of Mahavakyas that point out Abeda Shruti. For example, Tattvamasi in Chandogya 6th chapter. Because Shruti is contradicting. One place, Mundaka, it says Veda. Another place in Chandogya, it says Abeda. Because Shruti is contradicting by talking of identity in one place and difference in another place. What Purvapakshi says, Shruti is not a reliable source of knowledge. So what do? Give up Shruti. That is Purvapaksha's claim all the time. Now we will come to Ekadeshi. Ekadeshi's motive is what? His motive is good. But he does not know how to reconcile properly. So he reconciles in a wrong manner. He says, Veda Shruti alone should be taken as pramana. Do not negate the Veda. Retain Veda and take only that relevant and valid Veda Shruti only. That is what Jivatma is different from Paramatma. That alone you take. That alone we have to accept. And he gives a reason also. And what reason he gives? This alone is in keeping with our direct experience. He says this alone is in keeping with our direct experience. We clearly know that we cannot be gods. If somebody says you are Brahman, you are God, we ourselves will refute it. Because I am Alpajnaha, Alpashaktiman, all that I will say. We don't have any power at all, Alpashaktiman. We do not have, Swamiji very, very nicely quotes, we do not have power even over mosquitoes. All other animals, we put them in a cage. But the mosquitoes, what they do? They put us in a cage under the mosquito nets. So when we do not have power even over mosquitoes, how can we claim we are gods? Such an ordinary mortal, how do you claim to be God? Sarvajnaha, Sarvashaktiman. How can you claim yourself to be that? So Veda Shruti is supported by Pratyaksha Pramanam according to them, which is the most powerful Pramanam also. Pratyaksha Pramanam is the most powerful Pramanam. That means it is superior most Pramanam, even including Shruti Pramanam, according to him. So even if you have to study Vedas, you require Pratyaksha Pramana. And sense organs are required even for studying the Vedas. So I will not say they should be thrown off. After all, they are Veda Vakya, so don't throw them out. Put them in a decorative case. This is what he says. Put in a nice case, a glass case. Take them as Arthavada, glorification statements only, so that Jivatma will feel good. Once in a while, Jivatma is glorified also. So that is how he goes. So Abeda Shruti is apramanam, is not pramanam, whereas Veda Shruti alone is pramanam. And therefore, the relationship between Jivatma and Paramatma is bhinnaha. And they are distinct totally. Bhinnaha is distinct, they are totally. Jivatma and Paramatma, the relation between them. This is whose argument? Ekadeshi's argument. Then comes Siddhanti. He has to reconcile. And what does he say? Siddhanti says, the relationship is Amshaha, which is translated as Veda, Abheda, Ubhaya, Sambandha. So Amshaha is Veda, Abheda, Ubhaya, Sambandha. Veda is there and Abheda is also there. Ubhaya means both. So Veda is there and Abheda is also there. Veda, Abheda, Sambandha alone is called Amsha Sambandha. That is what we are talking about in this particular sutra, Amsa Sambandha. I hope you are able to understand the part and whole and that relationship. The part and whole have got Veda also, and part is part, the whole is whole, and therefore they are different. So Veda is there. Then the part whole Sambandha. Abheda also is there because part does not exist away from the whole. So when I say, for example, I am coming, I don't have to say I and my head are coming. I am coming means my head is included. So therefore, Veda Abheda Sambandha is equal to Amsha Sambandha. That's what they say. Veda Abheda Sambandha is equal to Amsha Sambandha. Therefore, if you use the Amsha Sambandha and stop it, then what it becomes? It becomes Visishtadvaitam. If you use Amsha Sambandha and stop it, it becomes Visishtadvaitam. If you write Amsha Sambandha and put it as Vyavaharika Drishti, then it becomes Advaita. So if you stop with Amsa Sambandha, it is Visishtadvaitam. And if you write Amsa Sambandha from the Vyavaharika angle, if you say, then it becomes Advaita. So the previous Adhikaranam indicates that the topic is Vyavaharika Drishti. And this is the general introduction for this Adhikaranam. Now we have to go to the general analysis of the first sutra. That I will take a little elaborately. Maybe I will stop here and I will take it tomorrow. Yo vedado swara prokto vedante cha pratishtitah tasya prakritilinasya parasa maheshwaraha purnamata purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate purnasya purnamadaya purnamevavasishyate om shanti 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.